Hi all. Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. All right, I want to start off this morning by thanking VC Birdie for sending me this fabulous, I don't know, I guess you would call it a small magazine from the Daily Mail. I love this stuff. You guys know I love this stuff. Thank you. Very thoughtful of you to send that to me. All right, you guys, we have a lot to cover again today. This stuff practically writes itself. I'm telling you. All right, so let's just jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start off this morning with King Charles, who has arrived in Romania. Now, he first went to Romania in 1988. He was in Bucharest last year. He looked at a donation center for Ukrainian refugees. In 2015, in Romania, he established the Prince of Wales Foundation Romania, which helps with heritage preservation training courses, which is, pretty cool. So anyway, he got there, he met the Romanian president, and he inspected the troops. Pretty cool. Now, he's starting this trip off with a meeting with the Romanian president. That same Romanian president was a guest when King Charles was crowned on May 6th. These articles really, I had no idea that King Charles owned at least 10 properties in Romania in the Transylvania region. I don't know how I missed that, but I just didn't know that. Anyway, like I said, he has a big thing with Romania. He also has a holiday, they call it a let, which helps fund the foundation, and a 17th century peasant's house, which acts as the headquarters. How cool is that? Now, while he was there, the king went to a reception in his honor, marking 25 years since his first visit to Romania at the Romanian Palace on June 2nd in Bucharest. Now, when that was all done, Charles immediately started walking. He went to a village, I hope I say this right, Valea Zelenului in Transylvania. That's a mouthful, where he owns a private estate. It's a village 250 kilometers north of Bucharest. He looked very relaxed. He looked happy. The locals greeted him. They gave him flowers. He shook their hands. Lovely start. Go, Charles. We're going to move on to Zara because she and her husband, Mike, were at the Derby Day in Epsom at the Downs race course. I just love her. And when you look at these photos of her close up, the woman is just gorgeous. Like, honestly, I can see why Mike fell for her. She's classy, but yet she's down to earth. She's fun. Yeah. They look like they were having a great time. And I'm waiting for the pictures. You know how after they go out, they swap hats? Waiting for more of those to pop up. Here's some better pictures I found online. Just look at her. She's just gorgeous. Like, truly, very pretty. Not just outside, but inside as well. That kind of stuff just shines through. All right, moving on. All right, moving on to Prince William. And we know he's president of the Football Association. He was out celebrating the 2023 FA Cup final. It was the game between Manchester United and Manchester City on Saturday. He greeted the players, he greeted the managers, he greeted the officials at the stadium, the Wembley Stadium in London, before the start of the game. Now, while he was there, he met back up with Marcus Rashford. Now, Mr. Rashford was recognized for his campaign to ensure no child in need went hungry. And as a result, William had awarded him a MBE in November of 2021. Way to go. All right, sticking with William. Not only is he doing the Earthshot Prize, not only has he teamed with YouTube, but now he's teaming up with Sir David Attenborough, and they're going to bring out an environmental guide for children. How cool is that? So now the Earthshot Prize has partnered with Hatchet Children's Group. It's going to be a nonfiction book aimed for children to learn about the planet and climate change. And Mr. Attenborough is going to work with Prince William on the book. It's going to be published October 12th of this year, and it's titled The Earthshot Prize, a handbook for dreamers and thinkers, solutions to repair our planet. Love it. All right, moving on, but still with William. You know, when he was working as an air ambulance pilot, he went to a crash. This gentleman, Jack Beaton, was riding in a van that was being driven by his uncle, and it crashed into a truck. I think they call it a lorry there, but for us it's a truck, near Cambridge. Now, his uncle was killed, and this gentleman was left with life-threatening injuries. And a letter was sent by his girlfriend to Windsor Castle, and so Prince William invited him to come to Windsor Castle to meet him. And Mr. Beaton said, I was saved by these guys. I'm quoting him. I was saved by these guys and everybody else on that ship. And it is lovely to see William and be able to shake his hand and thank him for what he did for me that day. I think that's just lovely. He reminds us that William was working as an East Anglian air ambulance pilot in March of 2015, and he began his first operational missions 4 months later, and he finished his job in July of 2017. Very nice. All right, moving on. Next up, Beatrice and Edo decided to stay in Jordan on a holiday, and they went to a place called Petra, and they took, are these just not the most gorgeous pictures from their Instagram account? I just love that they were able to do this. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up while they're there is because of one of the pictures, and this from Kat. I did not notice that the red cars combined with the people made up the flag. Okay, several of you pointed that out to me. I have to admit, I completely missed it. Good catch on your part. Now, I'm not going to lie, another thing that surprised me was the bagpipes, and Kelly Gray and several of you noticed that as well. Well, this is interesting. There is street art in Amman that shows a uniformed military bagpiper. And come to find out now that its roots, were from Scotland. We know that. But did you guys know that the British first began doing bagpipe bands during the days of the Transjordan Mandate? Like, how cool is that? Well, that took place in the 1920s, and even now, the bagpipes have become a fixture of military bands in Jordan and I think it's Oman. So in 1996, a member of the Jordanian Armed Forces decided to join the Army's music band, and so he had to learn how to play the bagpipe. It took him 2 years. He said the first year was theoretical and the second year was, learning the bagpipes. He couldn't be happier. They love it. I love the connection. All right, moving on. Really quickly, I also want to thank Ooh La La. You guys know I like to give credit where credit is due. The person who spotted the Middleton family is Royal News Network. Eagle eyes. The girl's got to have eagle eyes. Good for her. All right, moving on. All right, back to William and Catherine. Apparently there is a new growing sport that is called paddle tennis. It's become all the rage. Everybody is playing it. They play doubles with friends. They've been spotted in recent weeks playing it at different leisure facilities. Other stars have picked it up. David Beckham, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ellie McPherson. Now, in the article, it says that, they leave their kids at home while they run off to play this. I think they probably play while the kids are in school. Yeah. All right. Moving on. All right. Now we're going to move on. Remember I told you guys that Catherine never wears anything off the rack? And everybody was like, yes, she does. And my point was she has stuff altered to be more, appropriate. So I found this article that pretty much shows what I'm talking about. Now, here is this gorgeous dress that she wore to the wedding. Here's what it was supposed to be. It was completely sheer. So she changed the panels so that they weren't see-through. Okay, so here's another example. Remember this absolutely gorgeous gold dress that Catherine wore to the No Time to Die premiere? Well, everybody thought it was custom. Apparently, a if you look at the original, the neckline was altered so that it would be more modest. Now, in December of 2019, Catherine wore an Alexandra Rich dress, but this dress initially came with a waist-high slit and a keyhole opening at the neckline, so they, added the bow and got rid of that slit, and that made it perfect for Catherine. Sometimes it's just small changes, like notice the long arms on this top, and this is what it was supposed to look like. Yep. Here's another one. It's a Beulah London dress, and the only alteration she made was to the ends of the sleeves. Here's an Amelia Wickstead design. You see the sleeves are see-through, but here she is wearing it, and she had the sleeves changed. Here's another design changed to an Amelia Wickstead gown for Wimbledon. The sleeves, if you notice on the top, have been changed, and also they said the fullness of the skirt was changed. Here is another one. It's a Dolce & Gabbana dress, and if you notice, the clock design was removed. Yeah, she makes the changes that she sees fit. I just want to show you a few more. I'm surprised she's not a designer. Because you see the jacket on the right? And that's what she changed it to, which in my opinion looks better. She took this dress with the sheer top and she had a panel put underneath to make it more modest. Then she took this red dress with this heavy black belt and she had the black belt removed and she put a white strip across of it, which I think looks better. And finally, she took this asymmetrical thing with this key opening in the front and she had it redone so it looked, I'm surprised she's not a designer because her changes are fabulous. All right, moving on. All right, next up, in St. James Park, something called the Major General's Review took place, and this is considered to be the rehearsal for Trooping the Color, which we all know is for the King's birthday. It's his birthday parade. All right, well done, guys. Now let's move on to our other two. People are talking and saying now that they believe that Meghan Markle wants the title of the most hard-done person on the face of the planet, and that she's becoming obsessive in her quest to win the audition for it. That's just, absolutely crazy. Whether it's not going to the coronation, he wrote, or not having enough houses, there is no sorrow like Meghan's sorrow. Whereas Prince Harry is on a campaign against the press, a body he is infamous for having an almost obsessive hatred of it. Wow. All right, now we're going to move on to the whole Netflix thing. And I love what this Twitter user wrote because it looks like Netflix is done. And, the royal connection was what they needed. And they no longer have it. Meghan couldn't even show her face in the UK for the coronation. It's come out in every aspect of their lives, whether you be a maid or a nanny, they're hard to work with. They don't have a royal connection. They have no experience. They're dead in the water. And now it's come out, per Meghan's mole, that the Heart of Invictus has been canceled. Now, I wondered what was going on because we know that they taped all this stuff like a year ago. We're coming up on the second year of Invictus and nothing had been released. We had heard a rumor that things were having to be reshot because Meghan literally put herself into every frame, and so it wasn't working. Let's not forget that Help for Heroes, which is a veterans charity, was taken away from the Invictus Games and replaced with Better Up by Harry. I've covered that before in previous videos. And let's also not forget that there was supposed to be an Amazon show which got canceled, supposedly due to COVID, but it could have been done virtually. We know now it was because he signed with Netflix. Then he made the changes to Health for Hero for Better Up. And now all this money for Invictus is gone. Now, I saw this on Twitter. I can't corroborate it, but they're saying that the control of Invictus was passed to the Poppy Legion and is being overseen by the Defense HQ because people wanted to make sure that Invictus would continue irregardless of the damage that Harry was causing. Everybody wondered who paid for her clothes. They were merching deals with Better Up. And I think people saw what was happening. Absolutely, they did. Oh my goodness. So if this is correct, the merching, the clothing expenditures, all of that has been stopped. They still might save the Invictus Games. I hope they do. I think it's a wonderful thing. Now, remember, Megan Small also pointed out, and I remember this, and I reported on this. Remember, there were veterans and people trying to talk to Harry, and he couldn't stop for 2 seconds to take a picture or shake their hand. But if the squatties showed up, suddenly he had time for pictures. It's no different than when he told the Queen that the Me You Can't See was about veterans and Invictus, and come to find out he spent the whole time trashing his family. All right, next up, this article came out saying that Harry and Meghan are so struggling. There's so much toil and criticism. But we know the majority of that backlash was after the car chase gate, as I'd like to call it, because we know that Harry filmed everything on his phone and then demanded, the stuff from Backgrid. They didn't hand it over. The police asked Harry to hand over what he had. He refused. He didn't give them anything, and they closed the case on him. So now they're saying, well, his dream is crashing down. Well, yes, it is. You know why it's crashing down? Because reality is setting in. The reality is people don't like them, and they're not doing any good in the world. Unfortunately, it's not like things are going bad and he can go home, because the royal family now sees him as just a loose cannon. He's petulant. He showed up for the coronation. He left, 30-something hours later. He married Meghan, who is encouraging him to destroy the royal family. This last little bit about, we have nothing to say because there's nothing left to say. Are you kidding? It's unbelievable. Yeah, there's nothing left to say after you've already done the fly on the wall documentaries and you've trashed everybody. The royal family doesn't want him back, and they sure don't want her back. That's a no. Well, now everybody's talking about basically Harry betrayed his grandmother with that memoir. He added unnecessary misery to her life towards the end, and especially when Philip died. The Queen was in so much pain, and it just got worse. Apparently, it's coming out now she couldn't see very much. She couldn't hear very much. She was very easily confused. She barely moved out of Windsor Castle. They said that her going on the balcony at the Jubilee was a titanic effort. Don't forget that he was invited to go see her at the end. She was dying and in physical pain, and he said no, and he refused to go visit her. This is the time they're saying that Harry and Meghan should have shut up. And instead of this total unending stream of abuse that they threw at her and attacking her life's work, announcing he was writing the memoir and all of this stuff, this would have been the time to take a vow of silence. And after everything they did, now they're going to take a vow of silence? Now that she's deceased? Yeah, right. When you think about the way that the Queen felt for Harry, she always had such a soft spot for Harry. When you think about the way the Queen welcomed Meghan and gave privileges to her that Catherine didn't get for years, and then the way they treated her in her final years, it's just horrifying. I completely agree with Harry's gray suit here. The idea that they're now going to take a vow of silence after all this damage, it's just unbelievable. Totally. Now, I completely agree with this article. Harry and Meghan are going to sink without bashing the royals, because that's what they do. But then these new articles are coming out. Are you guys ready? Get ready to laugh. They're saying that Harry and Meghan could get an Emmy for that Netflix thing that they got so much backlash on. Oh my God. All right, we're sliding into the end. This is something that bothers me. Crown Princess Victoria wears Meghan Markle's cape dress. No, it was a Sevilla's ginkgo cape dress, but because Meghan wore it, they're calling it Meghan's. Just like Neil Sean put out this thing about the Together Community Cookbook, it was the Queen's money that funded that cookbook. The only thing that Meghan did was write the foreword in the front of the book, and she went and had some pictures taken helping them cook something, and suddenly they're calling it Meghan's cookbook. By the way, don't forget that since the Grenfell fire, when we saw William there the other day, Meghan hasn't written anything about it, and when they reached out to them to see the last time they heard from Meghan, they said no comment. So as usual, Meghan got her publicity from it, and then she dumped them. All right, I had to put this in there, you guys. Virginia Giuffre. We know that she got $16 million from Prince Andrew. We know that she accused Alan Dershowitz, and Alan decided to fight her, and she recanted her statements. Well, she was in court in New York. She tripped and fell as she was leaving the court. She is being sued for defamation by a woman named Rena O. Now, this has been going on since 2021. O filed a lawsuit against Giuffre for defamation, saying that there were tweets that asserted that she was Epstein's girlfriend and that she helped recruit girls for him to abuse. And O said the authorities agreed with her that she was a victim, not a co-conspirator, not part of his inner circle. So all that money that she got from, Andrew, she may not be able to keep it. So she wrote in a tweet, she wrote, "Rena, if you read this, I hope you live in shame for the rest of your life." That was one of the tweets. "And you don't intimidate me any longer. And the physical and mental scars you left me with should be enough to put you in jail." I'm going to keep an eye on this story, and we'll go from there, okay? Anything else comes up. All right, let's wrap this up now. All right, I just wanted to finish up with this because I was shocked when I saw it. You guys, the Sussex Squad, to mark Meghan and Harry's daughter's birthday, they're claiming they raised $100,000. They raised $100,000 to give to a multimillionaire's daughter. Swear, you just can't make it up, I swear. I really would like to hear your opinions on, especially about the Invictus Games and about what's going on now. I really want your comments, so make them good, leave them below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you've already hit the button, double check, make sure you're still subscribed. Don't forget, in the description box, you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Getter, my Rumble, my email, and a physical address in case there's something that you want to mail. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund and through the thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.